Hi friends, my name is Christa Bassett, and it is my great pleasure and my great joy to have the opportunity to volunteer with our children of our church. Growing up at Allison United Methodist Church, my parents were active in the children's ministries, so it was only natural for me to also become very active with the children of our church, especially early in my 20s there at Allison. But then my life journeyed on, and I needed to step back from those roles. And honestly, I sat back for quite some time, for years, like years and years. And then Allison unified along with Grace and First United Methodist Church, and there was a need for volunteers, but yet I still sat. And then you can only imagine how surprised I was sitting in church on a Sunday service, 11:15 service. That's the service I usually attend. And the pastors are talking about how our church is growing, so much so that they need additional volunteers during the 9:45 service so that they can have a separate class, a separate lesson for the kindergartners and first graders, separate from the other children. And so I'm sitting there and thinking, well, I usually attend the 11:15 service, and the help is needed at 9:45. And I work with children in one of my two jobs, and my clearances are always up to date. And then the big slides come up on the big TVs, and I felt like the good Lord was talking to me directly, that I needed to step forward. My help was needed. So I got to meet Miss Christina, and I got to learn the wonderful things she's doing for our church. And I got to be accepted immediately along with the other volunteers and with Miss Christina, and my help was valued and appreciated. And every day that I get to help, I feel the love and acceptance from the children. I got to tell you, when I help, I feel like I get more out of it than I do in providing. But then I got to tell you, not only am I feeling accepted, I see children almost every time I help, without little prompting, sometimes prompting, but without prompting. I see our children who are regular attenders, that attend week after week, that have friends here at Kids Worship. They include first-time visitors. We have grandchildren that come and visit Grandma and Grandpa, and it might be their first time at Carlisle United Methodist Church. And our children, our regular attenders, include them in their play and in their crafts and in their lessons. And so I learn about acceptance from the children of our church. Together we belong.